Uh, oops, Missy, I'm sorry, we're not clicking. There we go. Yay. Also this week, the port was able to participate at the Regional Economic Forecast and Innovation Expo, which is put on by the Thurston EDC. It was a great 2-day event. We had a chance to network with colleagues, our economic development partners in the region, and learn a lot about all the great things that they had conversations about. There was something on the future of energy, there was things about rural development, things about the future of AI, and it was just a super informative session. There was also keynote speakers, Lieutenant Governor Denny Heck, and a renowned economist, Dr. Bill Connerly. And they also had a tribal enterprises panel, which was expertly facilitated by our very own Commissioner Ayal. And it was just a great chance to learn and do some networking. So thanks to the commissioners who joined us and the port staff members who attended and represented the port. Later this week, a team of port staff and commissioners are going to go look at Green Diamond in Shelton. It's a tour that'll give us a chance to learn more about the local timber industry and the smaller forest landowners, the people and the jobs that the timber industry supports, all about their responsible forest management practices and carbon initiatives, and the role that our marine terminal plays in helping them get their products to the market. And then last Friday night, we had an outstanding holiday staff event, a staff appreciation party, our Christmas party. It was very, very fun. Great opportunity to reflect on everything we've done this past year, to enjoy some time together, which we don't always get a chance to do. And this year we also celebrated some milestones for folks. So the center photograph has our 3 honorees who were in attendance. Don Bakke got recognition for 30 years at the port. We have environmental staff who were not born when Don started at the port. So it was awesome to give Don that recognition. Also, Conley Booth has worked here at the port for 20 years, and she's really been holding down the port as a marine terminal through some turnover, staff turnover, and sort of turbulent times. And Conley's just the backbone of that operation. It was fun to recognize her. Emily Gerton has also been here for 5 years and also sort of weathered COVID and all the various storms that have hit the port of Olympia in that time. Who was not here was Paul Mickelson, who has been a mainstay of the marine terminal staff as well. And unfortunately, Paul was not able to make it, but we were proud to honor him as well. So we are really appreciate everybody who came, Commissioner Sanders, Commissioner Harding, and we just had a great time together. And then we just want to wish everybody happy holidays. This is our last meeting as we head into the holiday season. Hope everybody gets a chance to share time with family and friends. And as always, we value your input at commission meetings, at town halls, calling the port, visiting the port's website. And then if you want to learn about what's happening at the port, we are all plugged into social media and we welcome your participation. That's it. Thank you. Okay. We have 5 individuals signed in for public comments. Watterson is part of the Mike Reed's presentation. All right. Well, I'm going to add you as well. And in fact, I'm gonna no, I'll go in order. So first we'll bring up Anthony Hemstad.
Good evening, commissioners. My name is Anthony Hempstead. I'm the chairman of the POCAC's Economic Development Committee, and I've been a longtime observer of the port, but I'm not speaking in that capacity, just speaking as Anthony Hempstead. Speaking really to say thank you to Commissioner Evans Harding, EL, and Sanders for their years of service and being a close observer of the port in recent years. I've seen how much negative public comment that you receive, and I think it's very unfair in many ways. So this is just to say thank you. And definitely when you entered 2 years ago and you two entered 4 years ago, the port faced many, many challenges. And I think as you leave now, you can hold your heads high in that you are leaving the port in a much better place than it was. And you've helped to build a great team. I hiring Alex and the many other good staff members you have. I mean, this is a high performing team. I've worked in local government a lot, and in my day job, I'm at commissions and councils in various places, and I think you are performing well for the many challenges that the port faces. So I again, it's appreciated. And lots of the stuff that you hear that's directed at the commission, if you were private citizens, it'd almost be slander. But so we want to, on the other side, that I think a lot of people who do see what's the good things that are happening at the port, they do appreciate it. And Bob, it is hard to lose an election, but even Winston Churchill, who was seen as perhaps the greatest democratic leader in the last century, after he helped to guide England to victory in World War II, he lost his election. So don't take it personally. You've done a great job as well, but sometimes the voters move in different ways. But again, thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Anthony. Joe Downing.
Good evening, commissioners. Joe Downing, former port commissioner, also drowned rat. I've never seen it rain so hard. I had the misfortune of coming up here this week, but no, it's been a good time, but checked on the boat, did a sailboat race, and so it's all good, but damn, it's wet up here. Oh my God. So anyway, so I find myself here tonight with my 3 minutes. Is somebody timing me? Good, because I don't want to go over. Anyway, I'm here also to sing the praises. I so enjoyed working with Commissioner Harding and Commissioner Aiel for 2 years. Wonderful, wonderful. I've got a good rapport with Jasmine. I see Jasmine's the chair. You're doing a great job. Maggie, we're going to miss you too. So I understand you did not re-up. So, and Sarah, keep the torch going. Just to sing your praises. Number one, I know you're going to talk about the Harbor Patrol tonight. So I think that's a really great move to move it over to the Sheriff's Department. I think that's a great move. And I thank all the volunteers that help keep the Harbor Patrol running all these many years under the port's jurisdiction. Secondly, of course, I support warehouses, and I'm so happy that the Panattoni One warehouse is moving forward. Let's face it, we all use warehouses. Who has not bought on Amazon lately? So I'm glad that's going forward. Also, I want to say you made an excellent choice with your executive director. That's a huge, huge job. And it's so important to have the right person in there. So congrats to you for that accomplishment. And lastly, it's so important to just keep promoting the port because, there's some out there that don't understand the port's mission, don't understand that it's an economic driver. And that's subjective, how to quantify economic development and jobs, providing jobs in this community, but we've certainly done that. I had the privilege of having a friend of mine come up with me, and we're driving around town looking at of course, I had to show off this part of the port and that part of the port, and it's quite extensive. You have a lot of holdings and you've created housing, you've created excellent marina, you've done so many things. So I look forward to hearing more about the port. So again, thank you all for your service. I love the port. Go port. Thank you.
Next, we'll call Bill McGregor.
Good evening, Bill McGregor with Lacey. And I just want to say you have done an awesome job as a group of commissioners that have really moved the needle on this port. And I want to give you all the praise that you deserve for doing that. And we're going to miss Amy. We're going to miss Bob. We're going to miss Maggie, but you've done a great job. I am excited about the future of this port because I know it's in good hands. You have an executive director who I have speak very highly of and have appreciated her efforts and the things that she's done in this community. Not only is when she was a port staff as part of the environmental part of it, but now she's back as the executive director. And I think she's going to do a great job leading the efforts that are here. You also have a port staff that is very competent. You have a port staff that loves working for the port, that is doing what it determines to be best for the citizens of this community. And they are to be applauded for the work that they go out there and work in this rain. Now, I had lots of comments written down, but I got to remember next time to use waterproof ink. It's all smudged and I can't read it anymore. Going ad lib here, but you've done a great job. I appreciate, as having sat there for a number of years, all of the great work that you're doing. So keep it up, and I'll still be watching, but maybe by Zoom on nights like this. But when I need to come down, I will be glad to do that. The other thing I want to thank you for is that the Small Cities program is alive and well. Something we started a long time ago, but it has a terrific impact in those small cities that have small budgets. And while it may not seem like a lot gets done with a few dollars. So, and then also the Harbor Patrol. Glad to see that is alive and well, and I'm excited to be seeing that transferred over to the Sheriff's Department. And I hope to get with the sheriff here tonight and have him come over to the yacht club and make a presentation to their board on what they see the future and kind of give the board an update. But they've got a dedicated crew of volunteers that get paid an enormous amount of money to go out there in the rain, the wind, the sleet, and the snow, just like the mailman. So thank you again, and I'm going to go sit in. Thank you.
I'm going to call Micah McCarthy. So do you want to speak now or wait until I go?
I'll definitely do all this. Raise my hands up to my sister. I'm really super proud of my sister, Maggie McCarty, who's the first new Channel. She's the first Native American woman. She's the first Makah. She's the first McCarty to hold public office outside the reservation, particularly in the Port of Olympia. Back home, we have a real strong tradition about keepers of the beach. So hereditary chiefs keep a person that really knows a lot about who everyone is. And you have to be really smart in interterritorial literacy, which means we have to understand where other people are and what wealth is from their territories. And so in that respect, my sister has really stepped up in a public way and taken this tradition very seriously as she served our people here in Thurston County and beyond. I just wanted to share that little connection about our traditional values and what it means to be a keeper of the beach and what your important work is. Thank you.
With that, we have Carla Wolfsburg.
Good evening, commissioners. My name is Carla Wolfsburg and I live in Tumwater. So first, I'd like to comment on a couple of items under G, pending issues or business. I think it's number 2 and 5 that I'd like to comment on. First, I know you've passed your 2026 budget, but I understand you can do some changes in 2026. So I'd like to ask that possibly you reconsider the investment of that 6.5 million in the vinyl clear span warehouse. Simply because, as you've heard many times from many people, we're very concerned that there is no written commitment from Suzano for that $6.5 million investment. And that was my understanding from the initial presentation to all of you, that it was those Suzano shipments that were going to pay for the warehouse over time. So I hope I'm correct in that. So if without that assurance, I think that's a pretty risky business. So I just hope you'll reconsider that next year. And then there are a couple of other reasons why I think it would be worth reconsidering. And that's the environmental impact statement. that has not yet been produced for the Port Peninsula, which is part of your Port Peninsula master planning process. And I understand that TRPC stated that there hasn't been one since 1994. So building something in advance of an environmental impact statement is not a good idea. In fact, I think it's breaking a lot of environmental rules. But perhaps most importantly, TRPC said that the entire marine terminal would be included in the master planning process. So I found this brochure that you have produced. It's called the Discover Port of Olympia's Waterfront. I assume you've all seen it. It's a little hard to show the public, but there's a really big area here, this kind of cream colored area, which I understand is 65 acres, which is the marine terminal. So I understand that that's going to be in the master planning process. So if that is true, then this would include the log yard. And since the marine terminal is going to be in this process, I would hope that you would consider that area now that's occupied by the marine terminal as something to be studied and possibly considered as open space for the public, because the public hasn't had access to the west side of our Port Peninsula for over 100 years. So I think this would be really worth considering. And as our population grows, we're going to need a lot more open space. So I would hope you consider that too. And thank you and have a happy holiday, everybody.
That completes our public comment, but not our recognition of our leaders. We'll turn back to that later in the agenda. With that, I'd like us to move forward to the consent calendar. Do I have a motion? Motion to approve. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Okay, by your motion, we've approved the appointment of the Port Auditor, Port of Olympia Citizens Advisory Committee member term extensions, and Scribbles and Giggles lease amendment number 5. Just a quick moment of chair's prerogative. I want to thank the members of our POCAC who've agreed to extend their terms into the next year. This has been really a time of trying to stabilize our workforce as we transition the port into a new direction. So thanks to the POCAC members who helped us do that. Alex, pending issues or business?
I don't believe there are any updates to any of those items for this evening.
Okay, we have an action calendar. Damian Egan, Harbor Senior Manager, with a presentation on Harbor Patrol organizational transition.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Damian Egan, Harbor Senior Manager. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Harbor Patrol organizational transition. First off, I'd like to start off with recognizing former Commissioner Bill McGregor, who was instrumental in the Harbor Patrol coming to the Port of Olympia back in 2015. I just wanted to state that. Okay, so, today, we're asking for action for the Harbor Patrol organization transition to the Sheriff's Department. There'll be a presentation from the Thurston County Sheriff representative, and then we'll have time at the end for questions and comments. Most of this we went through in our last presentation. I can continue through or just skip through, whichever you prefer. Once again, talking about the need for the law enforcement side of the Harbor Patrol and our budget impacts currently with operating the program. The vessels that are down currently that we do not have the budget for repairing, the considerations for the transfer, again, getting out of our FEMA obligations, and then working through that process and getting to where we can today move forward with this transfer. We've gone through this one, sorry. For now, I'd like to bring up Under Sheriff Ruben Mancias from Thurston County Sheriff's Office. And then my presentation will continue after he is finished.
Good evening, Commissioners. Thank you for having me here to talk a little bit about our Marine Services Unit. trying to keep everybody's time in consideration. So I'll go through the slides pretty quickly and kind of open up for some questions at the end. Of course, Thurston County Sheriff's Office has a Marine Services unit. We've had it for, I've been there for 25 years, so it's been a part of our sheriff's office since before I was hired on. And I had the privilege of serving on the Marine Services unit for a number of years, probably up until about 4 or 5 years ago when I moved up in rank at the sheriff's office. I am currently the undersheriff, and I've worked with a lot of the Harbor Patrol members as well as a lot of the port staff over the years doing the Marine Services stuff here at the Sound in the port. Just to give an idea, every year we average about 40 water rescue calls per year, except for in 2021, we had about 107. So that was kind of a busy year for us. As you can see, a majority of the water rescue calls occur out in the Puget Sound. So roughly 148 of them there. So a big majority of them are out there. The sheriff's office it has the only state approved water marine services unit in Thurston County. So the sheriff's office runs that. There used to be a number of years ago, Olympia had a portion of it and Lacey had a portion of it. And I think that when they all went away from having the marine services units, I think the Harbor Patrol moved over to the Port of Olympia at that time. So quite some time ago. We maintained our boating program. Along with the Sound, we cover all the other bodies of water in Thurston County. So again, the Puget Sound is our biggest area, starting here at the port and reaching all the way out to the Nisqually Reach. So quite a big area to cover. We also cover the Nisqually River from McKenna all the way to the Sound, the Chehalis River down south, the Black River that is kind of on our west side there, the Skookumchuck River. Most of our primary responsible vessels for the Sound are going to be the Integrity, which is the one on the right there. That's the one we had in partnership with the port, and we're talking about today as well. And then our smaller vessel that was kind of for us for a number of years was the backup for the Integrity, and now has kind of been our primary response vessel out on the Sound. As you can see, it's not exactly an ocean-going boat, and it makes it a little rough to be patrolling or doing any water rescues in functions out on the Sound, especially when the weather is like it is today. There was recently a rescue that Deputy Katie did out on the Sound just a couple of days ago in that vessel on the left there. So despite the weather, we still try to keep missions going. We do have our Marine Service units comprised of one program manager, which is a lieutenant with the sheriff's office, a program lead, which is a sergeant, and then we have a lead MSU deputy, which is Deputy Katie back here as well. And he does the full-time enforcement that we do during the summer from Memorial Day to Labor Day in the summertime. So he'll do a full-time position at that point. There's 10 other members that do it as an additional duty on overtime or weekends when they're not working. And we're hoping to increase that here to 12 this coming year. One addition that we are looking at for our response capabilities this year, you probably heard a little bit at some of the commissioner meetings, is a military helicopter. Just to keep kind of in line with going from the port here out to the Nisqually-ish Reach, it takes over 45 minutes. So even if the boat is up and ready and working, which we have some hiccups with that right now, we have to drive all the way out that way. Could take 45 minutes for us to get out there if we can even locate the person in distress or the vessel in distress. So a lot of combination of things that cause an increased response time. We're in hopes with a military helicopter that we would convert over. Hopefully we can reduce that to probably 10 or 15 minutes and then allow a spotting of the location and then the boats and fire departments to assist with us. Our Marine Services unit does all the water rescue stuff out there along with the fire departments. We do have a working relationship with Lacey Fire Department with their rescue swimmers that are part of that water rescue response. They have members that are on our dive team too, along with the city of Olympia and the other fire departments as well. So we have quite a robust response for the water rescue, either dive rescue stuff or marine services with the boats. This is just a couple pictures that you can see that law enforcement agencies have used these military aircraft and converted them into the systems that they do. One of the nice systems that we'll have is a human external cargo system, which is allowing instead of a hoist system, that it'll allow it to do more of a sling load system and remove people from the waterways, not only on the Sound, but also in the Nisqually River or any of those other places. This is the aircraft that we actually got. We got it through the military DRMO program. It was an OH-58 helicopter in the military. It was converted over to this helicopter for a sheriff's office in South Carolina. And they got rid of their aviation program last year, and that's where we got it transferred over to us from. A little bit of looking on the inside. Obviously, it is not a Cadillac or any kind of Learjet. It's just an old school military style setup. And these are some pictures of it getting prepped and loaded to ship here, and then shipped by semi truck to Northwest Helicopters here in Olympia. So our partnership with the Northwest Helicopters will allow us to run that aviation program that will help us with our search and rescue and marine services unit as well. Is there any questions about, I guess, big picture items for the marine services unit?
Thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
I noticed how really large and big area and the few in the area we do assess would be
Pierce County does have some marine services. They have a big boat that they keep on the Sound up. I want to say it's up just north of the ferries. So it's a long response. We do work with the Coast Guard as well. But the Coast Guard, even when they drive down here, is several hours for them to get down here from Seattle. So we do the main response. Mason County does have a little bit of stuff over on the west side of our county, but they're really, I would say that their boating unit is even smaller than the one we have. So they're really limited in the capabilities that they have. So we are the primary one here. That is correct. And usually on the the northwest side of the Sound, we do go over there into the Mason County side to help with stuff, just because we have a little bit faster response to those areas as well. But we do partner with Nisqually tribal units as well that are out and about. They help us when, especially on the Nisqually River. Usually they're close to those events. So.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, Under Sheriff Mancias. So looking ahead, we talked about this in our last presentation about how Harbor Patrol is not aligned with Port's mission, and it is aligned with the Thurston County. Our benchmarks on acquiring the vessel. Once again, thank you, former Commissioner McGregor, for being instrumental in that. Upon commission approval, which we're asking for tonight, the Port and Thurston County Sheriff will finalize the interlocal agreement provisions, send it to Port and Thurston County Legal Counsel for review, and then the Executive Director can execute the ILA, and the Sheriff's Office can execute the ILA, and then we can facilitate the transfer. Once that's done, the ILA is finished, we'll submit our FEMA payment to FEMA for release of the grant obligations, and then we will transfer the vessels and the Harbor Patrol program over to Thurston County. Questions, comments, and I have a suggested motion.
I move to authorize the executive director to execute an interlocal agreement between the Port of Olympia and the Thurston County Sheriff's Office, divesting the Port of the Harbor Patrol organization and its port-owned assets in favor of the Thurston County Sheriff Office, contingent upon the following requirements having been met. Mutual agreement with the Thurston County Sheriff Office as to the ILA terms and conditions, and approval of the ILA terms by Port Council.
Commissioner Sanders has made this motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Harding has seconded the motion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. The motion carries. And thank you so much to the Sheriff's Office and to you, Damian, for the hard work on effectuating this transition.
Thank you.
All right, we move to the action other calendar. Damian has to come right back. This is Security Guard Services Contract Award.
Good evening again. I should have brought them both with me. I didn't know it was this quick. Tonight we're talking about security guard services contract. This is an action other item with approval requested for contract award for security services for the port. We have purchased services for security services as the Marine Terminal Gate Guard, vessel guards, and roaming peninsula security at the Marine Terminal, the Marina, and the downtown properties. In 2023, we awarded a security guard services contract to Pacific Security, and their current contract expires on the 31st of this month. We seek to establish a new 2-year agreement from January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2027. We sent out bids for solicitation on Halloween, October 31st. They had a site visit on the 14th of November with a submission deadline of the 28th of November. We received bids back and evaluated them last week on the 5th. And then tonight is our commission review and action for January 1st start time of the new contract. We had 16 bid submissions. The lowest bid was 314 and some change. The lowest responsive bid was Top Notch Security at 318,540. We got 14 additional responsive bids, the highest one being 657,000 and some change. Our lowest qualified responsible bidder was Top Notch Security at 318,540 with a 2-year total of $637,080. So questions, comments, and a suggested motion?
Point of order. Chris, do we have to take public comment after the motion or before on action other items?
There wouldn't be any additional public comment for this.
Not. Move to award the security guard services contract to Top Notch Security Inc. with a not to exceed first year amount of $318,540 and authorize the executive director to execute the contract pursuant to the bid award as presented.
Okay, Commissioner Harding has moved to award the Security Guard Services contract to Top Notch Security Inc., etc. Do I have a second? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. The motion carries.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Damian.
Thank you, Damian.
Hope you have a restful holiday. We'd like to invite Mike Reed next to discuss the Small City Economic Development.
Good evening, commissioners. For the record, my name is Mike Reed. I'm your Community and Economic Development Director. And so tonight I'm excited to present for Action Other. I'll give you a presentation. I'm actually going to be asking you to take action tonight so we can fit this in for this calendar year and make sure that these cities can bank on this funding to start the beginning of the year next year. So the Small City Fund Program, it's a wonderful program. The Port of Olympia has been doing it since I think about 2011 was the first year that we did this. And the commission actually updated the resolution last year to make it so we could assist the communities of Grand Mound and Rochester, as they weren't actually incorporated cities, but I think the commission felt strongly that they deserved and needed this assistance as well. I have abbreviated in the slide, so I don't have to say it a bunch of times, but the SCEDP, or Small City Economic Development Program, is the acronym that I have there. Provides fundings to the smaller communities in Thurston County, population under 15,000 for economic development activities. Funds can be used for feasibility work, infrastructure readiness, business districts, and I went backwards for some reason.
Hold on, sorry.
Fine. I don't know. I blew it. Here we go. Funds can be used for infrastructure readiness, business district improvements, recreation facilities, and other capital initiatives that support local and economies. We actually got a late start on this program this year. Normally, this program is going out usually towards the middle of the year. Transition happened. This used to be managed out of our finance department. I've taken it as a program now as your community and economic development director. So what we're actually going to be doing tonight is it's 2 years worth of funding. So what you'll be awarding is $20,000. Typically, the award amount is $10,000. So we're going to award for 2025 and 2026 and get these communities $20,000 to work on these projects. The applications were distributed on October 15th with the responses due on November 14th. And I know we have some elected officials in the room. After I give the presentation, I'd love to invite them up to give some comments as well. So our first up out of the chute here is City of Bucota requested the $20,000 for RV park rehabilitation. I think there was a couple of great pieces in this one. One of the things that they talked about in the proposal was the ability to potentially leverage this to add or work on some new part-time positions. So in a small community like that, once you hop up and you're able to add some additional staffing to something like this, I think that's a really powerful step to take. I also think that this is a tourism draw for a small community like this, and they're going to be able to use this $20,000 to make some improvements for their RV park that they have there. You can see those types of improvements. Rochester is another one. I thought this was sort of fascinating, and I love it when I see communities leaning into their history as a means of economic development, and I think that's what you're seeing with this one. It's to assist in some historical research and document presentation and the facility to sort of hold that. I've even seen some marketing flyers that they've already developed that help sort of tell this story about what they're doing in this area. It includes professional archivist, historian services, community engagement, and design work. City of Rainier, sport court surveillance and safety upgrade. So they have some recreational facilities in the middle of their town, and they are looking to make some improvements to them to make them more accessible and more sort of secure and safe for their community and for visitors to use. I like this one too. Project is shovel ready with vendor quotes in hand. They even gave me copies of the quotes that they already had. So this is filling an immediate need for this community here. City of Tenino. This is the fun one too. They've got two things that they've going on. I really like the downtown activation. I think that the main street that you've got in Tenino has that sort of wonderful Main Street feel. They're looking at doing picnic tables, garbage cans, flowers, street closure on Howard Street for activation purposes. That's fun. And in a small town main street, that will have a noticeable impact. High visibility project there. And then finally, City of Yelm, using it for some park signage modernization. This is another great one. They have a very clear scope. They've got the project in hand, ready to rock and roll on this, and helping us providing some of that funding just gets it over the top and gets them moving forward. So with that, before I ask you to take the motion, and you've got a sample motion, I would like to invite anyone that would like to provide a comment. Mayor Watterson.
Hi there, Dave Watterson, Mayor, City of Tenino. First, I just want to take 1 second to echo the accolades of past speakers about the commission. You have all provided me with a lot of guidance and support over the last couple of years that I've been mayor, and I appreciate that very much. And I look forward to working with all the commissioners and the new commissioners that are coming in. Going back to our grant, I would say thanks again. You've supported us for many years. The projects that we've done have been very successful. This year, I think we've leveraged that money. We're going to use it as a match for a larger grant. I think it's around $300,000 that we're going to be able to do with a sports court and pickleball court. So that's a huge thing for our community. I know most of you are probably aware of the financial situations that we're in. And basically all the grants we're getting are being very low match or no match. And so this one allows us to continue with that grant because it did require a match. So thank you very much. And we're trying to be wise stewards of the money that you do give us. And again, it's much appreciated.
Mayor Watterson, I read in the paper today that there's a California city that seeks to ban pickleball because of the noise complaints. Are you at all concerned that the port will receive?
Well, I hope it doesn't echo that far because it's in the middle of our park, which is quite a ways from any home. So if we get complaints on our pickleball court, we're in big trouble because, yeah. So yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed that there's no unintended consequences of that pickleball court.
Very good. And we have another mayor with us. Would you like to come?
Thank you all.
Thank you.
And my name is Callie Carpenter. I am the mayor of the town of Bucota, where we have 610 people for our population. So definitely this grant, I mean, it really means a lot. I know in some of our mayor's meetings, talking with Jasmine, she's talking about the problems you guys have. And I'm like, well, $20,000 is a ton for us, so being able to make the improvements to the RV park, we've actually had to shut our RV park down because we don't have hot water in our camping area right now. There's been an issue with it that has been like, we're going to have to hire someone professionally to come out and fix it out. So with that, we've only been able to, rent out spaces for like $10 a day. And so with that, we just have been having a lot of problems with the type of customer that is coming to the park and, creating issues with the environment, people just dumping their waste and stuff. So this grant will not only allow us just to be able to open the park again, but also do some key modifications and also springboard us to even more. So we're able to look at like a $50, $60, a night where it's kind of like a hip RV camp. So we're really excited and thank you very much for, the support that you've given, to me, but also the town of Bucota.
Thank you, Mayor Carpenter. I've learned that Mayor Carpenter also does some of the water quality testing for this city. So I think I think that the idea that resources in some of our rural communities in Thurston County are so much less than what people take for granted in the bigger cities that it's really important. And thank you for reminding us of that and for graciously taking on these projects.
I would add one thing before you take your motion. There is one more person in the room that I'd also like to sort of recognize. The handsome fellow at the end of the aisle over here, Mr. George Sharp. George has been a one-man powerhouse of support for our small communities in our rural Thurston County through his steady efforts. And when this task moved from the finance department to me, the first sort of call and the routine assistance that I have had has been to go to George to be able to say, hey, I got to get this application out. Can you make sure I'm getting it in front of the right people? And, how's this look? And so George is on the spot. And so that investment through the Economic Development Council and our participation with them, and then the council's support of Steady and the work there is I think why we've got George here with us. So big thank you. So with that, I have a sample motion for your action.
All right, I will move to approve the 2025-2026 funding of $100,000 for supporting the small city economic development projects consistent with the submitted applications.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the 2025 and 2026 2 years in one funding, $100,000 for supporting the small city economic development projects consistent with the submitted applications. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries 5-0.
plan for 2027, Mike?
Yeah, great question. So what we'll do, I like to actually incorporate this into your budget cycle. So kind of like what we do with your special event applications, those typically go out later in the summer. So it gives us time to be able to review the applications, and then we put the money into the budget for the following year. So I'd always kind of like us to be just a couple of months ahead. So, and then it gives the communities the full calendar year to spend that funding, and they know it's coming in their budget cycles as well. So we used to have it so we would issue the applications and award in the same year. And I think that can kind of truncate schedules for folks. So I think a longer lead time works. So that will be the plan.
Thank you.
All right.
There may be a resolution there that you want to bring back in front of us to amend. If there's any need to do that, please just do that. Okay. Terrific. And we have nothing on the advisory calendar, so now we move and get out our little handkerchiefs for commissioner reports and discussion. I'll start with Commissioner Montano.
Well, I have Lacey Chamber to share. I attended that this last week. It was Troy Oliver from North Thurston Public Schools presenting, and I would love to see how we could eventually partner with them. Alex, he said he's already in communication with you. So over time, just not only with North Thurston, but other school districts. I know we were doing field trips and stuff. So just however we can partner with the school kids. You know, I know the port doesn't have direct, business we can do with schools, but maybe there's something we can do there. And then also the director of the Thurston County Food Bank was there. Also give him your name and contact, and of course mine. And if there's anything we can do. He said that services since October have increased. I think he said 30%, and just a lot more usage of the food bank. But he also had positive news to share that their donations have also increased quite a bit, and visibility over the last month. But whatever, sounds like they're kind of in dire straits as well.
Thank you. I'll go next. I had the chance to attend with Commissioner Harding the Shanghai Maritime Delegation. And it really is interesting to me that even at times when nations can be in chaos or have difficult relations, that the people-to-people relationship between regions can remain strong. There's a professor at St. Martin's who maintains these relationships to the Shanghai delegation, and there has historically been international students who study at St. Martin's, including maritime sort of project management and freight related work. The idea of international students, we do still host students, not necessarily through a specific program, but I think Olympia is a great place in Thurston County to show what our country's made of, and look forward to those sorts of partnerships. Okay, with that, I'm going to go to Commissioner Isle.
Well, thank you, President Salvada. I didn't really have a report tonight, but I did gonna make a statement on this being my last evening. Would now be a good time for that? Sure. Okay, thank you. Well, this is the final meeting of 2025. And, a few of us are going to be moving on. And I just wanted to express my gratitude for the opportunity to help guide one of Thurston County's most important public institutions. Serving in this role has been an honor. And it's been a responsibility that I've taken very seriously, and an experience that I will always value. I'd like to recognize my fellow commissioners. Each of you brings a unique perspective and a genuine commitment to serving our community. While we have not always agreed, I've always respected your intentions, your dedication, and your willingness to face difficult issues. Good governance depends on diversity of thoughts, and I'm grateful to have served with commissioners who care deeply about making the port a stronger and more responsive institution. I'd like to extend a special thanks to our exceptional port staff. Over the past 4 years, you've rebuilt a positive internal culture, strengthened community relationships, and taken on some of the most ambitious environmental and economic initiatives in the port's history. You are dedicated professionals. You are smart, capable, and committed, no matter what some critics might say. And the truth of the matter is that your work often goes unnoticed because excellence very rarely makes headlines. I'd also like to thank the many community members and partners and stakeholders who actively support the port and its important contributions to Thurston County. Your engagement matters. Whether you've shown up at meetings, conducted business with the port, collaborated on projects, or just recognized the port's environmental and economic responsibility, your voices have helped keep the port focused on its mission. Public institutions work best when supported by those who keep an open mind, engage in good faith, and recognize that the port exists to serve all of Thurston County. And to those who may disagree or challenge the port's directions, I will offer only this. The port's mission is solid. It holds up through challenges, changes in leadership, and political pressure. And it will continue to hold long after we have all left these seats. The port's mission is more than a slogan, it's a charge, a promise, a standard. And the port is at its best when it pursues that mission with clarity, courage, and integrity. My hope for the future is that this commission continues to move forward with purpose, grounded in facts and transparency, and avoids allowing outside noise or political theatrics to derail the port's long-term work. We are trustees of a public asset that will outlive every one of us. We owe it to Thurston County to keep the mission at the center of every decision, even if it isn't the easy or popular choice. It has been an honor to serve you, Thurston County. Thank you.
Commissioner Harding.
I did have a couple things to report from my committee assignments. Both the Thurston Regional Planning Commission hired a new executive director, Alyssa Gertler, who we had the privilege of having attend our first meeting. And everyone seems super excited about that, and big shoes to fill with Mark Daly's in the former executive director, but it sounds like Alyssa's going to do a great job. And then Experience Olympia and Beyond hired an interim executive director, Shauna Stewart, who is previously the executive director from Experience Olympia and Beyond from years past. So the idea is that she's going to stabilize things, build relationships with the communities and the jurisdictional stakeholders, and then go on to hiring a permanent executive director. She's not, I don't believe, interested in that role. She's just helping us, and she's already doing a great job of communication and just the relationship building. So I also wrote a little something. So looking back on the last 4 years, there were some hard times. For months, community members would come to the podium and ask that I be removed from office. My ethics and motives for serving on this commission were questioned. Following that, we faced very challenging HR issues here at the port. Staff morale was at an all-time low. And then a couple of years later, slowly, when we all started rowing in the same direction, things started getting better. And this last year, I have loved serving on the Port Commission. One of my biggest lessons from public office has been that it's easy to advocate for no, but it takes courage to get to yes. And nobody does their best work when they're getting yelled at. Being careful with public dollars does not mean paralysis or endless process. It means finding the responsible path to yes and then getting it done. The community laid out a clear direction and plan for the Port of Olympia with Vision 2050. Alex Smith, our new executive director, has stabilized our team. And we have staff ready to execute on the vision that is given to them by the commission. I'm optimistic the incoming Port Commission will carry this momentum forward to deliver environmental cleanup that's supported by a working waterfront, construction of planned tourist amenities, allowing for construction of sustainable public access to the waterfront, and industrial development on industrial lands while creating habitat restoration. It's a both and. Ports were created because the legislature recognized private consolidation of the waterfront threatened public access and public benefit. That founding purpose matters now more than ever. Ports are uniquely positioned to turn community vision into action, cleaning up legacy pollution, creating jobs and supporting industry, hosting community events, catalyzing tourism, and serving as innovative partners in energy production and storage. I'm grateful to my family who supported me through this roller coaster of public office. Maybe my parents can start reading the local newspaper again because I will not be in it. Or date nights with my husband. I'm really grateful to my fellow commissioners. You know that collaboration beats gridlock. Each of the commissioners did the courageous work of true governance, and I now consider you my respected friends. I'm grateful to our staff who, as Bob said, do the hardest work with the least recognition. And I'm grateful to the public, including those who opposed me, because they push me to clarify my values and find the freedom that comes from doing hard things. So thank you for the opportunity to serve. And I can't wait to see all the ways the Port of Olympia gets to yes. And my last quote, I made a little pin for our port and some of our stakeholders. And I asked a friend of mine who speaks Latin, because I thought that you're going to make a pin, you should put some Latin on it, right? I asked him how to say, get to yes, or start with yes in Latin. And he said, there's no word in Latin for yes. And I'm like, really? That's interesting. So this is coopere affirmatione, and it loosely means begin with yes. I hope that's what the commission and the port continue to do, because that's how we best serve our community.
Thank you, President. As your Vice Chair, Maggie Sanders, I would like to share my statement with you all. It has been an extraordinary privilege to serve as your Port of Olympia Commissioner, District 4. As my tenure ends, I reaffirm the principles that guided my service, shaping a truly representative democracy, grounded in my great-grandfather, Chief Hishka's legacy, and my grandfather, Jerry McCarty, who built the foundation of the original signer of the Makah Constitution. It has been my journey to showcase the transformative power of Indigenous voices in politics. With this support of Thurston County and the dedicated staff of the Port of Olympia and my fellow commissioners who have been dedicated to the collaboration, this has enabled me, along with our commission, to drive meaningful change, championing environmental stewardship, community trust, and collaborative governance. Our collective efforts have been strengthened by prioritizing transparency, accountability, and driving the economy in the Thurston County and across the country. Let us continue to ignite this positive change, investing in the next 7 generations. Together, we have crafted a democracy that authentically reflects the vibrant communities that we are elected to serve. And I appreciate and thank you, every one of you, the staff and the commission, for the opportunity to serve Thurston County. To our dedicated port staff, I want to express my sincere gratitude for your hard work and commitment to serving our community. Your efforts are essential to the port's mission, fostering a sustainable local economy while investing in protecting our environment. Your expertise and dedication are truly appreciated as we work together on important initiatives such as the Bud Inlet cleanup and modernizing our facilities, ensuring that the port remains a vital asset for Thurston County for generations to come. Thank you for your valuable service and ongoing collaboration. Respectfully, Maggie Sanders, Vice President of the Port of Olympia. At this time, I would like to formally present this paddle that I crafted to the Port of Olympia to be accepted as a gift to the port, a permanent reminder of our shared commitment to paddling together and forging a brighter future for all communities that we serve. Respectfully, your Vice Chair, Maggie Sanders.
I'd like to ask IL to stand. And this to the president, on behalf of my sister, I want everyone to know that our great grandfather Hishka, who my sister called out, he was a little bit too young at the time of the wars, but the Dichuk, his uncle, knew who Leshai was. And we know this man comes from Leshai. So when it comes to Keepers of the Beach and what it means to be a part of an ongoing economy, we know that we took care of the settlers that came into our territories. We made sure that they wouldn't starve. We made sure that they knew our passages and we knew where to go. So all of these trade routes and all these game trails and all these roads and all these railroads used to overlap. So we know the generations that we stand with today, and we know the generations. So as neighbors, as cousins and extended family in the community, I want this paddle to represent what it means today in today's diversity, that we still know who we are and where we come from, and we still hold that legal status that we have. Indian tribes, treaty governments were not, as everyone else might think. We have a legal relationship, and that's really important. That's the fundamental foundation of accountability with our family of governments, because we are effective players in this game that we have. And this lightning serpent, that speaks to the literacy of our territories. It speaks to the literacy of the land that we take care of and the people that we represent.
Clicko, clicko.
Let me, yeah. Just over to you, okay? Yeah, president of the board.
It's for the port,
Yes,
so
for the
we go
port.
to Alex.
This is amazing. Thank you. Exactly.
Well, it's fun.
It's beautiful. I believe that this was the first time we had such representation at the Port of Olympia, and I hope it will not be the last. I guess with that, we turn to other business. Alex has some.
Yes, we have some things for our parting commissioners. And we have some words about each of you. So I will start with, are you good to go, Debbie? Okay.
So I have a kind of
little bit of levity to share.
Back together here. So I've been on the Port of Olympia Citizens Advisory Committee for 7 years now. And so I've been here for the full term of Amy Evans Harding. And I was going to say that she's a rock star, and not just because of the way she dresses, although you dressed down today. You got your campaign shirt on, but where are your silver lame slacks? That's what I want to see.
Alex.
Oh, Alex. Oh, wearing them. Awesome. So she's a rock star, just not just because of her glamorous attire, but also for her accomplishments. And it's not just me saying that, or some of you in this room, it's also the fact that the Washington Public Ports Association presented her with a Life Members Award for her work on the Finance Committee, even though she was only a member of that association for 4 years, and they still presented a lifetime award. So it just shows the quality of her work and how much it is appreciated far and wide. And then also I wanted to say she's been a real benefit here to the Port of Olympia because of her commercial real estate expertise. I don't think we've ever we had a POCAC member once who was a commercial realtor, but we've never had a port commissioner, and that expertise I think is deeply appreciated because most people are in the public sector and they don't understand, you know, the commercial real estate, and it's just been amazing that you've had that experience. And then also your commitment to preserving industrial land, because we know that industrial land is where jobs are created and maintained, and how we get to economic opportunities. So I just appreciate that so much about you. And then lastly, as everybody knows that have been to these meetings all these years, Amy has such a positive attitude, and she always sees the best in everyone, even those who disagree with her. And we love her inspirational quotes. I definitely do. As a teacher and librarian, you know, literary geek, the inspirational quotes are just every week. I just can't wait for them. And I just want to say, keep up the both and all the rest of the commissioners and the new commissioners, both and. Thank you.
And the port staff has a little gift in the card for you.
Thank you.
So you will be on next.
Okay, I'll go next. Commissioner Sanders, we continue to learn about you. Every day we serve together. Keeper of the beach, you chaired the Sea Level Rise Committee with me and led the way. Legacy of Chief Hishka, even today bringing dignity and ceremony to our shared government. Warrior for transparency, your journey that led you here, your leadership here, and the road in front of you. Ambassador for the stars and lands beyond property. Literally a NASA ambassador, but so much more in your elected capacity. Master of Administration, who never missed a word of our readings. Steward of Prosperity, as you represented the 4th District of Thurston County. And most of all, fellow paddler. Your steady friendship and true companionship to each of us has helped us row together. Thank you, Commissioner Sanders.
All right. And I get to talk about Commissioner Iall. So, Commissioner Iall was first elected to a 3-member port commission in 2021, right after, I guess, during the time that the world was shut down during the COVID pandemic. I believe he was the first Native American port commissioner in Washington state, giving us an incredible amount of experience and diversity and perspective. He came to the port as the CEO of Medicine Creek Enterprises, where he oversaw a portfolio of businesses owned by the Nisqually tribe, all of which generated hundreds of jobs, significant revenues, and long-term economic growth for the tribe and the region. And what luck for the Port of Olympia that he brought all that expertise to us to help in our economic development mission. He's also a native of the South Sound. He attended high school in Tumwater, at Tumwater High, where apparently he was a bit of a football stud. He also went to college in Washington State and got both his undergrad and graduate degrees. He's been a steadfast advocate for labor throughout his tenure. He's a member of the Bricklayers and Allied Crafts Workers Union, and he's advocated for fair labor practices and corporate responsibility in all the work that he does. He cared very deeply about us getting a fair contract with ILWU 47B and was instrumental in the port adopting a policy that requires the use of apprentices on larger port projects. Let's see. And during his 4 years here, the port increased to 5 commissioners. We reduced debt. We invested in environmental stewardship. We strengthened relationships with labor and tribes, among other relationships. And we're so grateful for his leadership, guiding the port with a sense of partnership, financial stewardship, and a sense of purpose. And I also, just as a personal note, 2 of the nicest men I have ever worked with have been port commissioners. One is in the back row over there, Bill McGregor, and the other is Bob Iall. And I'm just so lucky to have had a chance to work with you.
Well, let's see what's left on our agenda. Meeting announcements. I'd like to make an announcement that there may be snickerdoodle cookies left behind the sheriff.
There's none left.
Oh.
I mean, I'm taking them all.
Announcements will only at this point announcing the 2 commission business meetings. Note to the public that we are. So the first business meeting of the month will be Monday, January 12th, 4 p.m. That's a new starting time. And then the second one is Monday, January 26th at 4 p.m. We're still working with both the POCAC and the commission on work session time. And so we will announce those when they are available to the website.
All right. Well, with that, we are adjourned. Celebrate.